Today's lesson is again very interesting because I want to teach you guys Chinese internet slangs. These slangs just make sense in Chinese and the humor is really good. So I want to share these funny slangs with you all. If you ever use Rednote or any Chinese social media, you might have a chance of using it, or you might have seen it but not understand. So this is gonna be helpful for you to understand Chinese slangs better. So let's start with the first word. The first word is ban wei. Ban wei. Ban wei. Ban wei. Ban wei. Ban wei. So what does ban wei means? So let me write it out for you. Ban means work. So ban wei. Ban wei. Ban wei. So what does ban wei mean? So ban means 上班. 上班 is going to work. So ban here just means work. And what does wei mean? Wei means flavor. 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 Like, if you learn about food in Chinese, it will say, oh, this thing is spicy, and that will be 辣味. If that thing is sweet, then you'll say 甜味. So wei means flavor. So what does work flavor means in this context? Is used in the context of almost a derogatory meaning, because you'll say this person worked so much that they have started to develop a work flavor, which means they first started with a lot of Chinese netizens posting selfies at work. So they would be wearing their worst outfit, and they will be so tired from working that they do not wear any makeup and their hair is really bad, and all they do is work and work. So and they also look like they're about to pass out at any moment. So banwer means someone who is always working and they have overworked, and they just carries this sense of overworking with them wherever they go. And so when you see someone like that, you can say 你的班位好重啊，你的班位好重啊，你的班位好重啊. So that basically means like you look like you're carrying this sense of overwork with you all the time, like you look so stressed out from work. It's used in a way to ironically mock how much people work nowadays, and that it has become their identity, and it's not doing them any good. Similar to ban wei, there's also a couple of other words that ends with wei, like flavor, and they're slangs to describe like a feeling or a vibe. So one word is called địa位. 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 also a derogatory slang because you don't actually use this word to describe your dad. It's usually used to describe a man who tend to act like someone's dad, or like who likes to man-explain things. So I think the closest word in English is man-explain. Someone who always act like they know things and they want to teach you the way things are done in a very patriarchal, teaching way that does not really give you much respect. So the way you use this to mock a man who wanna act like your dad but is not actually your dad. So yeah, 爹味，你可以 say like 最讨厌爹味的人了，最讨厌有爹味的人。Which means I hate someone who always man-explains things to me. And let me introduce you to another word that ends with way. So it's again talking about some sort of vibes, and that is two-way, 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 two-way. So two means dirt vibes, which in this context, two means something that is really lame. Like this word is usually to describe like someone's outfit is very lame, not trendy, makes them look like they are from the village. Like two almost means they're from rural area or they're from the village, that they're not cool enough. But also two-way is to use to describe something that is very cringy. Like we say 土味情话，情。So 土味情话 means very cringy pickup lines that people will feel disgusted by or uncomfortable when they hear it. 土味情话. So if someone tells you a very cringy pickup line, you can say, ew, 你在讲什么土味情话呀? Why are you telling me these very cringy pickup lines? That's so stupid. Like, stop telling me these cringy pickup lines. So that is 土味情话. Very lame, very cringy pickup lines. So now you have learned the 3 slangs that ends with the same character way, which means vibe or a feeling. So do you still remember them? So the first one is related to working. It is 班位, 班位, 班位. It means working vibe that you carries with you all the time, that makes you stressed out. And the second word is 爹味, 爹味, dad vibes. A man that likes to man-explain things deserves this slang. You can say 你爹味真重啊，你爹味真重啊，你爹味真重啊。You are such person with dead vibes. You love to mansplain things too much. And third word, two-way, 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 which means something that is very lame or cringe. Two-way 情话 cringy pickup lines. So next, I want to introduce you to some slang phrases. Not words, but phrases. A short phrase, essentially. So this phrase is 你真是饿了你真是饿了你真是饿了 You are really hungry, right? You are really hungry, right? So this is the direct translation of this phrase. But if you are just trying to understand the phrase from this direct word-by-word translation, you're not going to understand the real meaning or the contextual meaning of this slang. When someone posts a picture of their boyfriend or girlfriend and the caption is like, oh my god, my boyfriend is so handsome, he's so good looking, but in fact this person has nothing to do with good looking. Like they're deemed by the netizens as being bad looking or ugly. So the netizens will mock the person who posted the picture and be like, you're really hungry, right? Like this, your person is so ugly. How can you think they are good looking and want to date them? Like you really are hungry and you don't have other food out there available, so you went for this person. I think it's so mean, but it is so funny. I feel like Chinese netizens sometimes can be really, really mean, but it's also really hilarious at the same time. In general, this phrase is just used to mock another person's taste. Like for example, this person thinks like one thing is really good, is really pretty or really nice, but the netizens do not agree with that. Then they'll mock the person's taste and goes like, wow, this thing is so stupid, it's so bad, but how can you find that good? Is that your only option? Like, is that the only thing available to you and that's why you chose it? You must be really hungry to do that. So that's the meaning of this slang. Do you think it's funny? Next slang phrase is also very, very funny, but it also just makes sense in the Chinese context. So on Red Note, these days there are a lot of LGBTQ couples or people like posting a there's Western treatment, but there's also traditional Chinese medicine. A lot of people really support, Chinese medicine and Chinese treatment. So people just jokingly say, like, oh wow, you are still gay because you did not get any Chinese treatment, you did not drink any Chinese herbal medicine, and that's why you're still like this. And nowadays, this phrase almost becomes like a praise for someone who's openly gay. Now we're back to learning slang words. So this is quite relevant to the MBTI personality test in South Korea, and basically it tells you if you are extroverted or introverted, if you're good at socializing or not. Nowadays people use the MBTI English letter combined with a Chinese letter and made it into a new word describing if you're introverted or extroverted. So that would be, for example, like if you are introverted, and in MBTI you would be I, right? I stands for introvert in English, and so you'll just I and then 人 I 人. So that's an English word, that's a Chinese word, and so this means introverted person because 人 means human or a person. So it's really funny that nowadays a lot of people say that, oh, I'm introverted. They'll just say 我是 I 人我是 I 人我是 I 人 I'm an introverted person. But here, don't get confused. 爱人 has the same pronunciation as I 人, which means lover. But most people, when they're describing their personality, they definitely are referring to them being introverted, not them being a lover. So this really depends on the context of your conversation. So how do you say extroverted person in that slang format? And that will be 一人. Again, this is an English letter E, which stands for extrovert, and 人 means human, person. So extroverted person, 一人. And remember, I 人 一人, introverted person, extroverted person. So I really like the next slang as it describes kids nowadays. So have you ever seen kids nowadays who are like really young, but they act so mature, or they are so like mentally mature and like well-rounded that you're just so surprised by how adult-like they are? And in Chinese, someone came up with this funny internet slang to describe these kind of mature kids, and we call them 小孩. We call them 小孩哥, and describe these kids because each is a different one for each gender, like whether they are a boy or a girl. So 小孩哥, what does it mean? 小孩 means children or kids, right? And then 哥 means brother or who is older. So this makes sense, right? So this kid that they're describing, not only are they a kid, but they act like an older brother. Like they act so mature that it just makes you think like they are an older person. But you combine with the word kid, so it's kid brother, kid brother. Like, for example, there's a kid influencer that I follow on Rednote who is doing all kinds of live streams and making like content creation that sounds so mature, like they are a grown up, right? But it turns out they are literally 10 years old. So in this case, you call them a 小孩哥, 小孩哥. And for a girl who is really mature, like a grown adult, you call them 小孩姐, 小孩姐. So 姐 means sister. Older sister is 姐姐, 姐姐, 姐姐. So in here, 姐 means older sister. So 小孩姐, a girl who is really young but acts as mature as an older woman. 小孩哥, 小孩姐 is a new word. I'm pretty sure that only came out in 2024 or 2025. Alright, that's all of the Chinese slang words that I'm teaching you guys today. Let me know if you find them interesting and funny. I'd like to teach you some more in the future. Yeah, and I was wondering, are there any slang words in your language and culture that are very similar to what I just taught you? I would like to hear some of that as well. But yeah, have a great rest of your